Okay, I'm trying to film this video for the second time this morning, and I'm hoping that this time I can manage it without breaking down. As you guys can see from the title, Jimmy and I have broken up. This was obviously not a decision that came lightly to either of us, but it was something that we felt was right for us in the long term. We've been together for 9 years. We've been together since we were in school. He was one of my first kisses and I was 13. And he actually asked me to go out with him at that time, and I was like, no, I'm too young for a boyfriend. We knew each other since we were kids, like we were 11, like run around fields, and I thought it was great because he lived in the country and I wasn't from the country, and I loved going out to his home place. And we've known each other since we were little teeny tiny little tots, which is just fabulous. I don't know, I think it's just something really nice that we got to share together, that we've known each other for so long. So then the following summer, Jimmy had reconnected with me. He met my cousin and he asked my cousin for my phone number, and he was like, I'd love to chat to her, I'd love to catch up with her. And my cousin Dylan was like, yeah, sure, here's her number. And he started texting me, I remember on June 12th, I just remember that date, and he said he bought a new car, and I was just out of a relationship with another guy, and I was like not thinking anything romantic about Jimmy at all in any way, shape or form. He was just a friend from my childhood who, yeah, okay, I kissed once or twice at like a teen disco and then my cousin's birthday party. We went for a little drive in his new car, and I actually had a date that night with another guy, and I was telling Jimmy, I was like, oh, I have a date tonight, I need to be back at a certain time. He was like, oh, you double booked me. But I was like, this is not a date, we're just catching up as old friends, we're just meeting up. And he was like, okay, whatever. And he was really cool about it, and there was something about him, it was different to any other time I'd seen him before. I really felt quite strongly about him, and I remember telling my mum, and she was like, Jimmy, like you've known him for years, like why all of a sudden? I was like, I don't know. That evening, anyway, we kissed, and it was just amazing, and all these like feelings. I was like, oh my god, this is so weird. I've never felt like this about another human being in my life, and that's the truth. And it was exactly what I had looked for, that spark, that instant connection. And we were still so young, and I fell in love with him very quickly. I remember going to Cyprus on the 4th of July on a holiday with all the girls, and they were all single and Pringles. I obviously wasn't in a relationship with the Jimmy at the time, but I was like, I don't want to kiss any other boys when we're on this holiday. I don't want to, you know, be around other boys because I think I'm in love with him. And that's how I felt so strongly about him. It took me a couple of months to tell him because I just had no idea how to express how in love I was, because I'd never felt that kind of love for another human ever, which I was like, this is so weird. Like, I love him, and I can't wait to tell him every day that I love him. And actually, before I say any more about the whole story, Jimmy knows I'm making this video. I had asked his permission back in December if he would mind if I made this video, and he said he was cool with it. He initially had asked me not to talk about it. When I asked him again, because I said I feel like I have to tell my subscribers because they're asking, he said that was okay. I'm not talking about anything inappropriate or that I shouldn't be. But I do recall like the day that we met was a Saturday, and I remember how happy I was going off, meeting him and whatever, because we were friends. I made a fool of myself that day because we were outside and there was like a little hill right beside where we had parked, and I went up to the top of the hill and like went running down and ended up like kicking myself. You know, when you're running too fast, you're like kicking yourself in the ass. That's what I was doing, and he was mortified. It was actually such a fun day, and even if I ever brought that up with him today, he'd probably die with mortification thinking about me running down that hill and my legs going faster than I could keep up with. So when I was in Cyprus, I was like, don't want anybody else, not interested. And it was the first time I'd felt like that in like so long. And when I got home, me and Jimmy hung out all the time. I remember the first movie we ever watched together was The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, because he was into like drifting and cars. And then I remember we went to like the cinema and stuff like that, and I remember the first night he asked me to go out with him. Obviously, when you're like young, you ask people to go out with them like in a kind of a different way than you would now. You kind of just like presume you're together. But I remember him saying to me on the 15th of July, so are we going out or what? That's how he asked me to go out with him. And I was like, can you wait till midnight to ask me that again because this is the same anniversary as my previous relationship and I don't want to like put the mockers on it. Will you ask me at midnight? So he was like, okay. So the 16th of July was our anniversary. We had an amazing relationship, absolutely incredible. Went on many holidays. He helped me through some really tough times when my friends had like abandoned me, like friends that I discussed in a previous video when I was talking about friendship breakdowns. He was there for me. He held me. He was so supportive of YouTube. When I wanted to leave my job to pursue YouTube full time, he was there constantly. He was pushing me and egging me on. Yeah, do it. You're going to be amazing. Don't worry about money. If you need anything, I'm here. He was just incredibly supportive in every single way. He was the most perfect boyfriend. He used to bring me coffee every Saturday morning in bed and go off to McDonald's and get me breakfast. And he's just incredible, an amazing human being. Like, I can't fault him in any single way at all because our relationship was an absolute dream. There was very, very few issues. There was nothing we couldn't overcome. We spoke a lot. We always communicated how we felt. I never had any doubts about us, anything like that, nothing. It was just amazing. It was childhood, you know, growing into like young adults, going into our 20s, you know, having our 21st and then our mid-20s where we're at now. It was just amazing. Like, there was nothing that I could ever fault with our relationship throughout all the years, and we've had fantastic memories, done fantastic things. He's taught me so much. He taught me how to change the wheel on a car when I was like 18 or something. I loved that he had an interest in cars. It was his like passion, and I loved that he had an interest in something, and I was interested obviously in filming, and he was supportive of that. I probably could have been more supportive of his cars. I'm not gonna lie, I probably could have been, but it's not an error I'll ever make in any relationship in the future. I'll always be very supportive of the person's passions because I feel like that is so important. He was very supportive of mine, so I need to be like that for him. He never ever let me down. I always knew he loved me. I never felt unwanted. I never felt unhappy with them up until Christmas 2016. And we went to New York. We were together 8.5 years at the time. We hadn't majorly ever broke up. We broke up once or twice for like a day or two, realised we never like couldn't live without each other and whatever. But in New York, I had ideas about what that trip meant, and he wasn't on the same wavelength at all. It was surprising to him that I had felt this way because I'd never expressed it before. I just thought that trip was something more than what it was. I was 8.5 years going out with the guy, and I never ever felt a doubt in my mind that that's where we weren't headed. I always knew I'll marry him, we'll have kids, we'll buy a house or build. We're meant to be. I've cried about this for long enough, and I've spent the last month feeling great. I don't know why everything's coming out my eyeballs. I felt like this was the perfect time to make this video, but it's so hard. I was like, you're a strong girl, you won't cry. And here we are. Oh, so after New York, things kind of just went into a downward spiral. A lot of it was my own insecurities. A lot of it was me picturing things like he didn't want me. I felt like he pushed me away. I felt like we were broken. That's the best way of describing it. I felt like we were broken. I love him so deeply. My love for Jimmy could move mountains. I feel like it's so strong, and that's why it hurts so much. In September, I came to the realization we weren't going to move forward. I just felt it. I felt it in my bones that we wanted two different things. For me, I know exactly what I want. I don't know what Jimmy wants. I do know for a fact he wants to be on his own. He's quite content and, you know, he's happy not being with me, which is fine. As hard as it may seem, it's fine. So I ended the relationship because I felt like we were going in two different directions, and what if this went on for more years down the line? He ended up resenting me or hating me, and oh, that would kill me. You know, he deserves the life he wants, just like I deserve the life I want. I would give him anything if I knew it would make him happy. I would do anything for him. Perhaps he fell out of love. I don't know. Things changed in our relationship. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. It's just two people wanting two different things and being together. The best thing to do is to separate. When I finished the relationship in September, I felt fine. I felt like I had, you know, done something positive. Like I said, I want him to be happy. If it's not with me, that's the decision that I made. But then I think in October, late October around Halloween, it just came flooding back. I felt like, oh my god, shit, what have I done? What have I actually done? And I went through like a silly phase. I feel like the whole of 2017 was just me on autopilot. So in October, November and early December, I'd say I was going through some really dark places. My family know this and some of my very close friends know this, but I've only just told them recently, and if it wasn't for my family and friends, I wouldn't be here in a good place right now. But I wanted to crash my car. I didn't want to be here anymore. I wanted to die. I know that sounds so selfish. I'm listening to myself now. It's not the person I'm now, but I feel like the person in 2017, I don't even know that person anymore because I'm so much stronger and better. I remember December 1st, I was going out to Amy's to watch the Late Late Toy Show. And I remember on the way home, I was like, if I crash my car, this pain would be gone. Everything would be just over and I can be at peace. But I never stopped to think how selfish that sounds, and my family who love me and my friends and people who do everything for me. And then I went through a phase of not eating. I wouldn't eat. I didn't want to eat. I wanted to end up on a drip in hospital so that it would be a cry for help for him to come back and take care of me and be with me. But that is so wrong. It's so wrong. I'm totally putting all of this out here. I know I'm going to be getting absolute probably battering online for even saying these things because I can walk, I can talk. I'm so healthy right now. Even though my weight is quite low, I'm getting there every single day. But I wanted to, number one, die. Or number two, end up so sick in hospital from not eating. And food was the only thing I could think of that I could control the whole situation. So my food became a major issue. I haven't suffered anything like that since I was in school. When it comes to food, I couldn't eat. I mean, I'll probably make another video on that down the line because it's too raw right now and I'm still going through it currently with eating. And if you're feeling that way right now in any way, shape or form, please like reach out to somebody. I'll leave like helplines and links and everything in the description bar. Please reach out to somebody because that's not healthy. It's not a good way to continue your life and it's just so unnatural. But the anxiety, darkness, the lack of light that I could see, I couldn't see any happiness or anything coming out of this, and I don't want anybody ever to feel like that because oh my god, it's not a way to live your life. Life is for living, and I'm alive and I'm so healthy and so happy and so grateful for my family and my friends. And Damien was with me last night and he said, Aisling, why have you never told me this? And I was like, I didn't want to bother you. I didn't want to bother my friends. And he was like, I'm one of your closest friends. He was like, I'd do anything for you. He was like, just reach out to me. Just talk to me. Please. The people around me are the people that have gotten me through this. They really have. A breakup is not the end of your life. It's just a sad state of affairs. Always light. You know, you just have to think positively. And that's how I'm thinking right now. I felt like, oh my god, what have I done? I'm actually having some sort of, episode. That's all I can describe it as. It was having a mental health episode. I was doing things out of character for me. I had moved everything out of the house that we lived in together and I'm living back at home now. Living back at home 4 months. I'm very happy at home. I have my mum, my dad, my sister. I moved all my stuff out. That was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. And I did it in mid-October and it was one of the most painful things. I cried the entire time packing up my stuff. I cried the whole way home in the car. I cried for weeks on end. I could barely even function. And he asked me, did I want Harley? Harley's our cat. And I said, no, you take care of Harley because I can't have him in my house. I have Chewy here and he's a dog, and I have Angel and she's a cat. So just adding Harley into the mix wouldn't be fair. Chewy didn't like Harley anyway. I mean, anytime he came over to the house, he tried to chase him. So it wasn't fair on Harley. So I said to Jimmy, if you're able to take care of him, do you mind? And he said, that's no problem. I miss Harley so much. I spent a month trying to fix things. He went to New Zealand in mid-December, trip that we were going on together. but he chose to go alone, obviously, because we weren't together anymore, and he needed to do it for himself, and I'm glad he did it. I'm so sad not to be part of his life anymore. He's been a major part of my life. I think of all our fun memories, him picking me up from college, me and him going on a road trip down to Roscommon when he was buying a car, listening to Fleetwood Mac in the car, singing along, nights out, nights in, cuddling on the couch, holidays we had together, fantastic memories, fun things that we did together. I mean, we've 9 years of those memories. Even movies that I watch, TV series, I'm like, oh, we always used to laugh at this part. It's been so hard. It's time to move on. I've been doing that for the last month and I've been feeling really good. I've actually taken on board a lot of his advice, and he told me to talk to my friends, and that's exactly what I've been doing. And he was like, eat more and, you know, get your body back and building my strength back up. I'm eating more. I'm spending time with my friends. I'm starting yoga. My friends have been my saviors. I don't know what I would do without them, like Damien, Michelle, Amy, them all. Like, I have such a good group of friends that without them, this would have been impossible. And my family are amazing, like so amazing. So the only reason I'm making this is just to let you know. People have been asking lots of questions. I've had to block his name out from my vlogs because people were asking so many questions and speculating. I wasn't ready to discuss it, and they were talking about Harley and was I living at home and stuff like that. So I wasn't ready at that time. My eyelash is totally coming off. Oh well. I wasn't ready at that time to discuss it. I feel like I'm ready right now because I'm actually coming to terms with the fact that he does no longer love me. We're no longer in a relationship, and the love that I have for him, I know it's love right now, and I'm so in love with him, and that's why it's so difficult. Don't know what happened because we never fought and we never had bad, you know, conversations. In 2017 we had very few conversations. In fact, I feel like everything kind of stemmed from Christmas, that 2016 Christmas, and it just kind of just went not like pear-shaped. It just went pear-shaped. I don't know what happened. We wanted two different things. That was the end. I had to do this for me because I knew what I wanted in my future. He knows he's pretty content and happy without me, and I will be pretty content and happy without him eventually. I am getting there every single day, and the new year has been fantastic to me. I've been so happy in the new year, working on myself, taking care of myself. And I know that when the time is right, somebody will come into my life. I'm not going to force it. I will meet somebody who wants all the same things as me, and I have fun things coming up this summer, fun things coming up even this month. I'm going to Michelle's wedding in June and I can't wait for that. We're going out to Santorini. Not only have I broken up with someone, but I've lost my best friend. Jimmy was my best friend in the whole world. I told him everything before anyone else, and he was my confidant, my partner in crime, the love of my life. It's just now picking up the pieces and moving on, and I've been doing so great this month. Really, really, really good, beyond belief. I've put on 2 pounds. I'm delighted with it. I know it seems like a small little thing, but it's important to me, and I'm getting happier and getting healthier every single day, and I want to be happy and healthy, and I want someday for somebody to come into my life, some wonderful man, and we will have an amazing relationship, and it will be everything that I wanted. I can never fault the relationship I ever had with Jimmy because it was perfect in every single way. We just wanted different things, and that's just what happens. Sometimes you grow closer together and you want, you know, the exact same things, and it happens, and sometimes you grow apart, and that's just a fact of life. I always will have a loving spot in my heart for him. Like, he's meant so much to me over the last 9 years, and he's been there with me through YouTube, through everything. He's been such an amazing support. I know he wasn't like physically on YouTube with me, but behind the scenes he was amazing, very supportive. Anytime I felt down, he was there to lift me up. You have to let them go. It's heartbreaking, and as heart-wrenching as it is, you just have to do it for yourself, because you're the only person that can take care of yourself and love yourself as much as you do. And the love that I had for him, I'm going to actually put it into myself now. I'm going to love myself as much as I loved him, because I forgot about myself. I forgot that I needed to love myself, take care of myself, and that's what I'm doing now. And I know I'm going to be absolutely fine. I'm fine now. I'm just upset making this video because it's bringing it all back. But I feel amazing today. I feel really happy. But you know what? Onwards and upwards. I'm going to throw myself back into YouTube and work, and I'm going to start doing consultations again, I think, for nutrition. And I have a couple of trips planned. I want to go over to my cousin in London. Spending time with my friends is very important. Going out, you know, doing fun things, going to the cinema with friends, spending time with my sister. I've missed that. I really have missed that. I'm functioning pretty well on my own, and I'm learning about myself all over again because I'd forgotten it. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video, and if there's anybody else going through what I'm going through, we can all do this together, and I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. It's a tough thing to talk about. It's very difficult for me to actually express this on YouTube because I never thought it would have to. And to be honest, I've been in denial about making this video for so long because I just felt like maybe things would change with us and we would get back together and we'd be happy again, and you know, we'd love each other even more than we ever did before. And you know, even though I know on my side it's impossible because I've never felt the love for anybody that I have for him. It wasn't for us. We went in different directions. It's unfair for me to say he didn't want to be with me because that's not true. He spent 9 years with me, but perhaps he just didn't have the courage in the end to tell me that, you know, I want different things to you, Aisling, and it's not going to work out that way. I didn't want him to be forced into something that he wasn't ready for. That's not fair either. He needs to be happy too in his life, and I wish him all the happiness and wellness in his life because I'll always love him, always, and he'll always, you know, be a friend. I don't know if I can be friends right now because it's too difficult for me. It's not healthy for me to spend time with them. Right now I don't know what's in store for me, but it's kind of interesting to see what way my life is going to go, and for once I have absolutely no idea, and I'm excited about it because I'm not relying on plans that I hope will happen and be disappointed, because I'm going to start making plans for myself and do things that I want to do and be the captain of my ship. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I love you guys, and I will talk to you very soon. Mwah. Bye bye.